We are live here on all the different streaming services, Twitter, Facebook. This is unexpected. There was a rain out tonight. I was supposed to be going to the game. Crawley's here. He was supposed to be at the game, or no?
No, I was going to be there Saturday getting my fleece blanket.
Your smallpox blanket from the Cubs. You know that's what it is. It's Ricketts. It's Papa Joe Ricketts and his conservative cabal trying to depopulate the planet. They're handing out smallpox blankets Saturday morning to the people.
All I can tell you is it looks like an old-fashioned scorecard, and when it comes to Cubs promos, you know I'm their Huckleberry, so I will be in line waiting to get it. I got my Pat Hughes sweater so far. This is number 2 on my list right now.
I'm excited. I'm going to the game with you. It's
Yes,
going to be
sir.
freaking awesome. IFG, what you pouring? I should say what we're doing. We're doing live bitch clock because it came in the mail. Amazon's finest. I actually spent some coin on this. This is for Ranter Fest, which will be the weekend of June 1st. But we're doing live bitch clock. So this is the wheel of grievances. We're going to populate this with everybody's Cub fan grievances, and then we're going to bitch about whatever you want us to bitch about. And there might be some nice things.
Satisfying sound.
I love it. I know. I can't stop it. It's like a stress ball.
Amazing.
Yeah, you need one too, just in your back, Raz. Everybody's got their own bitch clock. Everybody bitch.
Remember those fidgets, like a giant fidget spinner?
I got one sitting here. I found one in a drawer. I was like, hey, maybe this will de-stress me. And now I'm just gonna be stressed out looking for it. So
the greatest fidget spinner that ever came out. There was a Chris Bryant bobblehead. It was one of the coolest bobbleheads. He's holding the trophy, and the vines are like eating him up. And it came with a fidget spinner of like Ivy, and it's like the greatest fidget spinner of all time.
Nice. I don't. Yeah. Now I'm looking for it. IFG, what you drinking?
So today I have from Stoop Brewing over here on 52nd Street in Seattle. I have Everybody Love Everybody. Look how
all right.
that is.
Well, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to bitch clock. We're here to hate shit.
Look, they put a little story on the can. I love Seattle craft. They really like step up. Look at this pretty packaging. I adore it.
It is very nice.
In good times and in bad times, if we just remember to love each other, everything will be okay. And what better way to celebrate our shared human experience than to enjoy a beer brewed just for you from your friends at Stoop, who love you very much. It's melon, passion fruit, and citrus all wrapped up in a hug of beer. So it's an IPA. I'm not normally an IPA person, but this is quite delightful.
Man, my beer just says the champagne of beers.
My beer says non-alcoholic these days. Rocky got himself in a little too much trouble in his life. So we're here to bitch clock. So we thought that we would populate this wheel of grievances with everybody's grievances. And so if you have grievances, put them in the chat right now. We're gonna take on everybody's problems with what's going on with the Cubs. It doesn't have to be about the Cubs either. And I was thinking we could put a few wild card spaces, like tell a story, tell a baseball story, or something like what's your earliest Cubs memory, or something like that. So start putting your grievances in the chat, and but I'll start with you guys. What do you have to put in the chat right now?
Let's think.
Cubs are half a game out of first place after a West Coast road trip, and we have grievances.
Yeah,
I know I've been away from the Sun Ranto show a little while, but I mean, Jesus Christ,
okay.
I remember how many years have they gone on that?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Third base.
Bill Sugas wants third base contact play outs.
Contact outs. Okay.
And you can also add to that, Danny, about not scoring a runner from third with 1 out or less.
Okay, cool. We'll put that on the other side.
There you go.
Not scoring from third. You can't really read this, though, can you?
No.
That's okay.
It's another brilliant ideas that sound better in your head.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can move it closer, but then I might die when it hits me in the head. Not scoring from third, less than 1 out. Well, 1 out or less. 1 out. Okay. We all know what it means. All right. I'll put a nice one in. How about Corey Furlong says, finally got rid of Cotton. I think because he's not here, he's going on the wheel. Cotton. We're going to bitch about Cotton. We might need the 2-minute, 3-minute bitch clock for that guy.
How about blown saves?
Oh, there you go. Blown
See, it only takes me 4 minutes on the Sun Ranto show before I start getting negative again.
Blown saves. Blown saves. Okay. I was thinking, gosh, something about Craig Counsell. I mean, do we have any complaints about him yet?
The fact that he's an utter delight and has
How about this?
I got one. Dansby Swanson batting second.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, good one.
That one drives me nuts.
Dansby. Yeah, I knew if I brought up Counsell, there's something you didn't like.
Terry E says Angel Hernandez.
Oh, there you go. He's kind of a bitch clock regular. We're running out of spaces, so we should put a nice one in. How about your earliest Cubs memory?
Sure.
Earliest Cub memory. That's good stuff.
Earliest Cubs memory. And also, like, if anybody else wants to come on the bitch clock tonight, I will totally share and invite you to this little bitch,
yes,
bitch session.
clock!
We can have more people come in here, no problem. All right, what else we got?
Relievers walking the first two batters they face.
Oh God, that's the worst.
That's Bill Sugas right there.
Yeah, all right.
And Bill, I hope everything's all good with your recovery right now, buddy. I hope everything's good. David Elliott says story time with Crawley.
That's on the bitch clock, or that's a good one that we do?
I think that's a positive.
Okay. All right. We'll just put story time. I better get that song ready. Story. It's good that you can't really see this anyway, because my handwriting is absolutely illegible. So
Bill Sugas has also suggested people who are still bashing Christopher Morel.
yeah. All right. Morel bashing. All right. I like that. Morel bashing. Got the eraser here too, so we can swap. So that we got two more spots. We at least need one other good one. How about well, we got story time. We got
How about young arms?
oh yeah.
Oh,
you mean as a good one?
Yeah, I think it's good.
What
Yeah.
were you gonna? Okay.
Go ahead. No, what are you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say we could have just a sort of an overarching baseball thing, a rant on the rash of UCL injuries.
Oh, the pitcher injuries. Sure, injuries and then we're gonna go like as a good one, young Cubs. Why don't we put it out there like the prospects, like overall, not just the pitchers, but all of the young Cubs that we got.
All right.
So, hey, thanks for tuning in. Like and share all that stuff that the influencers kids say these days. Why don't you like and share us all?
Boy, if I could put something on the bitch clock, it would be the term Riz.
Riz, well, that's what happens when you deal with kids all day.
Right. That's where I'm that, man. I don't want to hear that stupid term anymore.
Yeah. Well, not especially since Rizzo's gone. If Anthony Rizzo was still on the team, you'd be using Riz all the time. You'd be like, hey, man, Riz homered.
Okay, but serious question. If you could, if it were an option and you had to give up Michael Busch to do it, would you bring him back this season?
Nah. No way.
Michael Busch looks too good right now. He's so young and there's so much promise, and I've just really enjoyed. Yeah, so I think the answer is no. But I will always regret the fact that that whole thing fell apart, because he should have been a Cub for life.
Blue Friday was one of the worst days ever. But I truly thought that. And it wasn't even my favorite of all of the 2016 crew, but I truly thought that the Cubs were going to bury him under first base.
It was Danny. Were we sitting together for that game? Because we were hoping that they would either give Bryant or Rizzo one last at bat, a pinch hit at bat, because it was on a Friday, and we went. And I remember we went to go see our friend John Furlise from Real Cubs Insider. We were there. We went to the game, and then we kind of got the feeling, because neither of them were in the starting lineup. Baez was in the starting lineup. Rizzo and Bryant weren't, and we were just waiting for just like one more chance to say goodbye. And then I remember as I was driving home, that's when the news that Rizzo broke, and then that night Baez broke, and then and they
didn't.
It was a Thursday, and then Friday they traded KB right at the last second.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't really give us an opportunity to say goodbye.
Nope.
And then we said goodbye to Wilson Contreras like 5 times, and he never left. And then he finally left, and he's talked trash. So then when he came back, we were mad, and we didn't want to say goodbye anymore.
Just put Wilson Contreras on the bitch clock.
Well, wait till
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah's coming on, and then I'll erase one of these. In fact, we could replace because once we get one, we can replace it with something else, once we do one. So we're just kind of making this up as we're going along, because if you didn't get the message, the reason why we're doing this is because the Cubs got rained out. We were all planning on watching the game tonight, so we figured we'd give you something else to watch, which is us bitching about things with my fancy new bitch clock wheel. Okay, so let me get this sucker a spin. And how should we do this? It's like, we'll get a category and then choose somebody to do it, and then we choose 30 or 60.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we can go on dibs, I think.
Here goes the spinning wheel. Where is it gonna? Oh, it's on this one. I can't even read my own writing. Ooh, Dansby batting too. I know who gets this one. Let me put you up in the bitch clock seat and let's see if I can't do that. All right, I think this is the way that the bitch clock works. So I'm gonna put it up. Let's see if this works.
Bitch clock.
There it is.
30 seconds to bitch.
Craig Counsell, I love just about everything you've done, but God almighty, how much cheese curds do you have on the brain to put Dansby Swanson batting second? Everybody knows he's streaky as hell. He strikes out way too much. He's not going to advance runners or hit it the other way. Pretty much every hit I've seen him get from the second spot has been a ball that accidentally hits his bat and lands somewhere 15 feet in front of him that nobody made a plan. So please stop batting him second. It's just ridiculous. You got Ian Happ, Nico Horner, do it.
Hey, there you go.
Stop your
Nice. Very nice job, Crawley. So we need some crowd reaction.
Yeah,
I need
like some canned applause.
You don't have an audio? Yeah, you don't have audio?
I will get some canned applause because that was unacceptable, because you really deserved a standing ovation for that one. I will bring in some applause post haste. But here's the thing. I just looked up his OBP so far this year, small sample size, but it's only sitting around 300. That's just not good enough. And so you say, who should it be?
I like Ian Happ leading off. And because when Ian Happ, even when he struggles, he's a guy that gets on base. He's, his OBP's always been pretty good. And so I like him, and I like Nico batting second. And so it's like that idea that either you have two kind of leadoff guys. If Happ doesn't get on, you got another chance with Nico to get someone on before Bellinger. And then if you have, and Nico's a guy that always makes contact, so you can get runners going. You can do a lot of different things. I like Happ 1, Nico 2. I think I like Nico the way that he makes contact, so that's why I would put him second.
380 OBP so far this year too. So
are you talking about Nico?
Yeah.
Look at career though.
Oh, career.
He's not a big OBP guy. That's why I want him second, and I want Happ first, because Nico doesn't walk a lot, but he makes contact.
Career OBP for
He's
Nico.
Not good. It's gonna be like 300.
341.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It's not lead up, but they lead them off sometimes too when you got a lefty on the mound. But so okay, well let's do another one, I think, and let's give it a spin. Oh, I got applause now, but so
I just added one too.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're prepared. I have this one. And then what's this other one? A little less enthusiastic.
All right.
We need some booze. I'll find some booze too, just in case somebody really louses it up and freezes like Mitch McConnell. All right. All right. What do we got here? Oh, Angel Hernandez. Who wants to take it? IFG, how you feeling? You want it? Okay, cool. I'll give you the 30.
Okay.
Even though Angel Hernandez probably deserves about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna put you in the bitch clock seat, and we're gonna put this sucker up, and we're gonna start your. Oh, well, then I guess get for the top. All right, here we go.
Bitch clock. You have 30 seconds to bitch.
It is absolutely ridiculous, unacceptable, and unconscionable that in the year of our Lord Taylor Swift, 2024, We have professional pitchers and professional hitters in a battle against each other, and also in a battle with the parameters of the field of play.
10 seconds.
We have the technology. Use it. Why are we letting Angel Hernandez ruin baseball games for his own ego?
Stop your bitching.
Wait. Complete. So robot umpires? Is that where we're
100%. They're using them in Korea this season.
I like the ABS system. I think that's kind of the best of both worlds. And I think if they went that way, it would be way cooler. They used it at the Arizona Fall League. I know they've used it in the minor leagues. I don't know what the holdup is at this point. The umpires get to keep their jobs, and it's just you get to challenge. So maybe you're going to have umpires that if they know that they can be challenged, they're good. The one that drives me nuts, and you see it all the time at ump scorecards, is that the 2-0, 2-1 automatic strike call, or there's just times where you just know that they almost call it in their head before the pitch even is hitting the pitcher's glove. So that's my nuts. Is the ABS. It works well. And it's really cool. Like fans like it when they put the screen up and all of a sudden they show where it lands and everything. Like, let's go ahead and do it, man.
Yeah.
And it doesn't waste time.
This year. They still have the umpire behind the plate. You're still going through the motions of seeing a guy, do the thing. But like there is something there behind the scenes that's actually saying, okay, the ball did actually cross the plate at some point during the delivery.
Well, I wonder how many trick pitches we're going to get now that just kind of like nip that corner. It's going to look like a ball.
See?
But you're going to have to make adjustments, and that's how baseball always is. I do want to address something that Sam M said. I loved the lineups that Craig was putting out when Seiya was healthy. I liked seeing Ian Happ 1, Seiya 2, and then Bellinger 3. I thought that was brilliant. What I'm talking about is what we have right now. That's the way I would go with as the roster's constructed right now with the IL stint and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you want your best. I mean, it's not rocket science. You want your best hitters to have the most at bats in the freaking game. Like, and the more good hitters you have on your team, the better your team is. I know I'm breaking news here, everybody. I'm breaking news. Okay, I see Mike Prasnowski is here from the Bums in the Bleachers podcast, and he is literally a bum in the bleacher. They put him on TV the other day with no shirt on. Crawley is giving you a run for your money as the most shirtless Cubs fan. He's got a ways to go.
I don't do that in cold weather, man, so I'm going to give it to Mike. He's got a little bit more layering than I do. I only do it in indoor stadiums and in Arizona.
Exactly. Well,
90-degree days, man. You will not catch me dead in one of those cold weather games with my shirt off. I don't care how many Malort shots I've done.
Well, Mike, you're invited. I've sent Mike the link, and I know he's doing a Facebook or a Twitter space right now, or just finished one. So if you want to come on and do the bitch clock with us, you're more than welcome. And also, if you would like, Mike says, my fluffiness kept me warm. Doesn't it though? Doesn't it, Mike? So I'm going to give this sucker another spin. And I guess I'm probably in the bitch clock seat just by default at this point until somebody else comes on. All right.
Go, Praz, get your ass out here.
We do have a 60-second bitch clock that we can do, but that seems like a long time. I'd rather do more categories. What does that even say? It says, blown saves. Blown saves. Sorry, I really have such horrible handwriting that I can't read my own shit. It's embarrassing. So, all right, put that sucker up, and we're going to start from the top. And here comes the bitch clock.
Bitch clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
Okay, here's the thing. Adbert Alzolay, hell of a human. The idea that he fist pumps after he saves and they call it the people's fist, a little creepy. I must admit, gives me the willies, makes me kind of want to protect my butt. But I love me some Adbert Alzolay. I think he's got a great personality. He's got the personality to be a closer. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to have the stuff to be the closer. You got to do something. You got to do something in that bullpen at the back end of it and get some flamethrower up here. There's no way Adbert's the guy. Stop blowing saves. I gotta hold on. It's a little
yeah, but it's nice to have the effects. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is what, and again, we ran out of spaces, but that was the idea of Hector Neris, was like insurance, right? So it's like, okay, you look at Hector Neris.
Goddamn terrible.
Right. And so Hector Neris was a guy that you said, okay, Adbert should get the job because he did it last year, did a great job, awesome. But we have this guy in Hector Neris who's number 8. And so if something happens to Adbert, he's not as good, we can slot Hector Neris in there. But as IFG said, he's been awful. And I sat there in spring training and I remember watching and I'm like, is this it? This is what the guy's got. And I'm like, okay, well, it's Arizona. You know, sometimes the ball is weird, blah, 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 blah. But no, then everywhere I've seen him pitch has just been bad. And Jared P says Neris makes me miss Fulmer. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I think we paid him a little bit more than Michael Fulmer. I'm not going to story time it, but he was I had like a weird interaction with him at CubsCon. Like, I don't know if I said something and he read it and then he like blocked me. This is like one of those weird situations.
Good riddance. Mike Prasnowski's here. We asked him to come on and here he is in his car.
Guys. In my car.
I don't know if this is legal to do a game show from your car in the city of Chicago, but we're going to do it anyway. We're breaking all the rules tonight.
To be fair, I'm not within Chicago jurisdiction. I'm in Cicero right now. I got all the mob guys around me, so we're all good.
Anything goes at Cicero. I know a guy.
I got to tell you, Mike, I was a little disheartened to see the fact that those youngsters who had Shota written on their chest are getting obvious shirts.
Yes!
You don't get one. How about where's Joe Johnson? Get him on here.
Yeah, I'm going to text Joe right now. It's like, Joe, you are now the subject of the bitch clock. In fact, he's going on the board. Joe Johnson going on the board for favoritism.
Can I ask though, what would the Mike Prasnowski obvious shirt be? Would it be like a fake hairy sweater type thing? I mean, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean,
I like my fluffiness keeps me warm. I think that should be an obvious shirt.
That would be a great one. Fluffiness keeps me warm. Yeah. I mean, maybe I would go with what's on my pin tweet that has gotten a lot of love. It was from the Sammy McGuire ESPN documentary when I just tweeted out, "Shut up, boomers! Steroids were awesome." Yeah.
All right. I think Joe would print that. And if he wouldn't, even more reason why he's on the bitch clock right now. But I did qualify it. I said, Joe Johnson Seiya guys. So I'm going to take those guys to task. And, those Seiya guys, it was funny because a couple of them were freaking jacked. Matt, and then.
Yeah. Right. They didn't have one of me out there. They didn't have, a guy with a big beer belly as part of their group. I mean, come on. Get some more space for that letter. Yeah.
They had one guy.
I think they made him the O.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, they ran out of paint. We're using your belly button as the O. We're just going with that. So, all right. Well, are you ready to take a spin of the bitch clock, Mike?
I don't really know how this works, but sure.
This is how it works. We have the people's wheel of grievances right here. Okay.
Okay.
And there's everything. There's a bunch of different categories on here, and a couple of nice things that you could land on as well, where you would like tell a story or something. And then you have either 30 or 60 seconds to say your piece about this subject. That's what the bitch. It's very simple. Basically, we're asking you to come on and bitch for a finite amount of time about a subject that's sore to our hearts.
And we'll generally decide whether to give you 30 or 60 seconds based on how excited you are to be bitching about the thing.
Yes. Listen, I have no shortage of grievances when it comes to the Cubs. So,
well, maybe you could
fire away.
Yeah, maybe you can add some.
Everett's got it. It's kind of like Festivus.
Exactly. Here we go.
We should add IFG's dog on there.
Yeah.
Oh, he was sad. We have new neighbors upstairs, and they have a young lady puppy, and he's in love, and he's not allowed to be.
You actually, Mike. Sorry to interrupt, but Mike, you actually landed on a nice one, which is your earliest Cubs memory.
Ooh.
So give you a second to think about it, and then we'll put you. I don't know if we need to do the bitch clock. I
don't think we need a timer for that, but we can give him center stage and let him talk.
Right. I mean, is my time started now?
No, you're unlimited time for nice stuff.
Sure. I don't. The first Cubs game that like pops into memory of like longest ago, a pretty big one was Game 3 of the 2003 NLDS. Mark Pryor versus Greg Maddux was out in the right field bleachers with my uncle Paul for that one. Insane pitchers duel. The Cubs won it 2-1. I remember there was a guy behind me. The game was on ESPN, and people used to make like the signs that made like the acronym of the network that the game would be on. And this one stuck in my head forever. It said like "See ya in the NLCS," and it was made out to say ESPN, especially since Pryor's nasty. And I like as a 9-year-old, that just stuck with me. I know for a fact I was also at a game the Cubs beat the Dodgers and they scored 20 runs in like 2001. The only reason why I know that is because I have a Sammy Sosa bobblehead from that day, and that was like the giveaway for that day. I have zero recollection of anything that happened in that game because I was like a little too young to really remember it. But that's the one that I have for as far as like game I know I was at. But the game that I like, the first game that I really remember the most would be that 2003 playoff game against the Braves.
So I'm going to geek out on my bobbleheads here. There's 2 Sammy Sosa bobbleheads that were created, one in 2000 and one in 2001. And so those were the first 2. The first bobblehead ever was the Sammy Sosa. Dark helmet has an Eckrich Farm sticker on the side of it. The next one had like a little Pepsi nameplate, and he had his helmet off.
Yeah, and like he was kind of holding his bat like it's a cane, kind of.
Yes.
Carly's gonna go get it.
He's like, wait, I got it right here.
Because that's the one that I have, and like I realized like because there was a game the Cubs beat the Pirates a couple years ago when they had scored like 21 runs, and I went back and looked up like the last time the Cubs had scored 20 runs in a game, and I just put it out there that it was some game in 2001 against the Dodgers. No, that's not the same one. I wish I was doing this at home right now. I would show you the one I have, but I'll tweet it out later. But it's him in like the classic white home uniform, and he's got his signature smile, and he's just standing there like holding the bat like on the ground like it's a cane kind of. But yeah, I remember like looking it up that was the game that they scored 20 runs in 2001 was the game against the Dodgers, and then someone replied to me saying like, oh, it was the same day as Sammy. So yes, that's the one. That is the one right there. Yep, I got that same one at home.
So that is the first Cubs bobblehead ever given out, and the way that you can check this,
really,
all of you bobblehead nerds out there, is it's got the Eckrich Farm sticker on the back.
All right.
Do you have the Eckrich Farm? Is it authenticated by Mr. Eckrich himself and his farm?
Does Eckrich Farm remember?
Yes. No, that's Pepperidge Farm. Eckrich Farm, you got to forget about because they're just slaughtering pigs. But who's got one of these? Huh? David Ross? Huh?
I got
Pretty
one.
cool, huh?
Yeah.
Oh no, I broke it. Oh no, it's now not worth anything. Oh wait, it wasn't worth
There you
anything
go,
anyway.
Danny.
Oh wow.
Oh, I can
Nice
have one of
collection,
yours.
Crawley. Wow.
Does it bobble though? That's the question. Can you bobble it without an earthquake? No, I want to see the whole wall bobble.
The whole
I want a bobble wall. You got to move that whole wall to a fault line so that every time there's an earthquake, I'm coming over and watching the thing bobble around.
Well, I got some places for the Bleacher Bum band to jam.
Oh yeah,
I don't
we'll
know,
be
maybe
there.
maybe Southside Mikey could come back and play some thunderous drums or something.
Oh yeah.
I only have 2 Cubs bobbleheads. I have it was given to me by our former friend at Cubs the first time I was at Wrigley Field. So I have the Patrick Wisdom showing off his collarbone.
I got that one.
Cool.
Given away on my birthday in 2022.
Yes.
The same day that someone stole Bleacher Jeff's seat.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
And that's funny because that game at Cubs came up. They like texted me on or DM'd me on Twitter, and they were like, "Where are you sitting? Are you in the bleachers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in the bleachers." They're like, "Stay right there. I'm coming up."
Oh shoot!
And he came and like brought me a little bag full of like swag and giveaways and stuff that he had laying around, I guess. And so that was a really cool like high, for my first game at Wrigley. It was super cool.
Everett Tauscher says, do the bobbleheads come to life when no one is around? So I'm going to show you guys this. This is not a memory, but this is something, if people can remember this, it scares my wife and children to death. Here, hold on.
Have you ever seen them? What is it? The Fantasia, the Master's Apprentice, or the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Whoa.
Sorcerer's Apprentice with the brooms.
What is that?
That is a 7-foot tall bobblehead.
That is straight out of your nightmares.
That is like, you should put that out on your front lawn like in October for Halloween decorations.
That is literally floor to ceiling, 8-foot tall ceiling right there.
Wow.
And, that's him. So he can sometimes scare people. True story. If we're gonna go to story time with Crawley here on this one, I had a friend of mine, and he used to do work for the Cubs in Wrigley Field in the surrounding area. And recently, in the last year, there was a warehouse, and they were selling off half the warehouse to rent it out to someplace. And so they had to kind of clean up half the warehouse. That bobblehead came from 2003, the All-Star game at Comiskey Park. And so what they did is they made all these giant 7-foot bobbleheads, about 32 of them, 30 for all the teams, and then one for the National League, one for the American League. And they put them all over Wrigley, or all over Chicago, downtown Chicago. So that Cubs one was on Michigan Avenue in Erie, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's you cleaned it up first, right? Because if that was sitting out there in the city of Chicago, it
was sitting in a warehouse, and all of a sudden they're like, we're going to throw it away. And the guy that worked there was a big Cub fan. And he contacted my buddy and was like, do you know anyone dumb enough to take a 7-foot bobblehead? He's like, I got just the guy. And he goes, Crawley, you got a truck, man? Because you're going to need a truck for this thing. I'm like, I'll get one. Hold on, hold tight. And so he gave it to me for free. So I take the truck, I drive it all the way down to Chicago. We put it in the truck, we strap it down, but it won't close. The bed of the truck wouldn't close. And so I sit there, and I'm literally driving like 45 miles per hour on 90 with this bobblehead in the back, like with the head like straight up there. And I'm like just praying to God it made it all the way back home.
Amazing.
It's like National Lampoon's Vacation with the grandma on the roof.
Yes, exactly.
And I was just thinking, if you were looking to hide a body, wouldn't you just hide it inside the bobblehead? Like, nobody would ever think that it was in there.
Yeah.
They just build this thing around a dead body. You got Jimmy Hoffa in your basement.
So
definitely what you want to do when you want to attract no attention whatsoever.
So when I first brought it home, we needed, it wouldn't fit in my basement. There's like a big base on it. And so basically I'm like, all right, well, I'll get, I got home late. I'm like, I'll just do it some other time. And so it was in my upstairs right by the front door for about like a week or two. And every time my kids or my wife would like walk by it, or they'd come downstairs like in the morning, scare the shit out of them. So we got a socket wrench and we took the base off and brought it down. And that's where it is now.
I'm definitely adding Crawley giant bobblehead to the list.
There you go.
Yeah, we're taking this one off. And I also had to make a correction because I said it was the Seiya guys. It's Shota guys. They had Shota written.
Shota, right? Yeah.
So Crawley's giant bobble, big bobble. Well, Mike, we should probably give you a chance to actually do the bitch clock. So why don't we give it another spin here?
Okay.
We'll keep you because I see you're in your car. You probably got to go. You don't want to sit in your car.
No. Listen, I don't care.
All right. What did you get? Oh, here we go. Not scoring from third with 1 out or less. Not getting that run in is what you're faced with here. So we're going to put you in the bitching seat, and we're going to start this with a 30-second clock. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here we go.
Bitch clock. You have 30 seconds to bitch.
Okay, how the hell do you not get the run in with less than 2 outs with a runner on third? All you really need to do is just make contact, preferably the right side, but like any decent amount of contact will get the job done. By the way, Arizona Diamondbacks, the game in extra innings the other night, you had a chance to tie the game on a sac fly attempt to right field, and you didn't send the runner then. That game could still be going on right now. It could be Rob Manfred's worst nightmare. What the hell, guys?
Stop your bitching.
Very nice job.
Yeah.
And really, I live for
Legends say
games that
the Cubs and the Diamondbacks are still playing to this day.
Exactly. Anything that makes Rob Manfred sad is really baseball that I am
Absolutely.
for. You know,
Yes.
it's absolutely true. Well, do you think that that the reason like some of these fundamental things that I think as people who watch baseball and have seen it for a long time, they're like, well, how could you not get that run home? This seems like the most fundamental thing. Just, choke up on the bat, make some contact, get them in no matter what you can do. Is that a result because too many dudes are selling out these days? Like, it's just like, oh, I knew never bunt. I never learned to bunt. I'm a power hitter. It's what I do. Is it that? Or is it just hard to play baseball?
It's a little bit of both, but at the same time, there's definitely been like a lost art of like, just focusing on getting the one run home when you really need it. I mean, I get it if you don't want to bunt, in the first 7 innings or something like that. But if you have a chance to tie the game or take the lead and it's late, you do everything to get that run across the plate. I guess it's just, not really being taught all that much in the minors and in spring training these days. So, they need to bring back, what's the guy that Dale Swain brought in like early in his Cubs tenure? Nate, the video guy. Remember, like they did the bunting competition then?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That team was great. Bring that back. That worked.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's one thing is that people were critical of Cody Bellinger last year. And some people said, part of the reason he didn't get the big contract is because of the hard hit rate that they were concerned about. And what Scott Boras had said in the press conference is that you have to look closer into those numbers, that Cody Bellinger took more of a two-strike approach. When he got to 2 strikes, he took a less approach. So he got a lot of just little singles and making contact like we're talking about last year. And it made a big difference. He wasn't swinging for the fences. He was lighting up. So no, he wasn't barreling them, but he was making contact. And here's the thing, if you strike out, you're not getting that running. Okay. If you put the ball in play, we've seen it. Anything can happen. The other day, Eugenio Suarez backs up on a ball, and I think Dansby was the one that reached on that infield single. Like, you got to make contact at least. You can't sit there with a guy at third and 1 out and flailing away ridiculously. Make contact.
Just to follow up on your – sorry, go ahead, Aichi.
No. I was just going to say, I say it all the time. Never bunt unless it's going to work. And the fact is that people bunt so rarely now that if you actually did it, nobody would know what to do. They would be confused. Like, it would take long enough for their brains to try to register what the frick just happened that you actually have a better chance of making it work. Now, like, I'm recalling during the World Baseball Classic, America playing versus Team Japan, and Team Japan likes to freaking bunt. Samurai Japan will bunt. They will bunt on you. They just like to do it. And you can't, they like to bunt. And then Team USA is standing around going, what do we do with this? I don't know.
No, yet and that the game changes in that way sometimes. Like, the metrics will say one thing until you do it so much that you've tipped the scales, and now you've got to do something else to counteract because now everybody's guarding against the thing. So it's like offense, defense, it's always changing.
But I think to IFG's point, when you're talking about baseball, especially in Japan, where I think they really kind of drill in the fundamentals, and what you were talking about earlier, Danny, when you're with a young kid and you're on a travel league, they're not asking the best kid on the team to bunt. They're just not doing that. And so all of these guys, even Miles Mastrobuoni, it was the best player on his team. And that's just how it is. And they're not going to ask him to they're not going to ask him to bunt. That's just not going to happen. But in Japan, they work on these things. They work on these drills. They practice these things. It's different.
Yeah, my gosh, like, and I'm not saying that it's, you want to do it 100% of the time, or, that you always want your 4-hitter to bunt in a bunting situation. I just saw Kazuma Okamoto get told to bunt, and it made no sense whatsoever. But, like, you can go either way. but you don't want to like overcorrect so much that you take an option off the table.
Well, I'm gonna, Mike. You're more than welcome to sit in your car in Cicero and hang out with us. But you can go if you need to.
All I know is right now when I take a look at Mike's screen, I keep getting scared. He's in Cicero that some gangster's gonna like pull up and
yeah,
he's gonna be sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah, send a strong message.
Yeah, I got one of Capone's capos behind me, but no, I'm with you on the bunts. Like they, it's not something that gets practiced these days because like IFG said, like I'm sorry, was it IFG or Crawley? I'm not sure, but like whoever is if you're good enough to make a Major League Baseball team, you probably were the best player on your team previously in a previous life to the point where you weren't asked to do that. Now, like you say, IFG that in Japan, I mean, baseball's a freaking religion over there to the point where they practice every last aspect of the game. So I do wonder, if you were to ask, say, Seiya to do it, would he'd probably be the most likely? Yeah. I will say this, shout out to Michael Bush yesterday for laying down a beauty of a bunt against a shift for a hit. Because that's probably the most useful form of a bunt these days is as a lefty power hitter, doing it when, what you can shift as a defense when you can do it against that.
Keeping them honest. Keeping them honest over there. Yeah. And that makes a lot. And Rizzo would do that stuff too for the same reasons.
Schwarber would too sometimes. Yeah.
Yep.
And
oh my gosh. I distinctly remember one of my favorite bunts of all time was Kyle Schwarber. And this thing just rolled down the third base line until it just died at the third baseman's fingertips. It was amazing. Beautiful.
It's always your favorite to see if that's going to hit a pebble and go foul or what's going to happen. And you see like the third baseman blowing on it or something. Trying to
Lenny Randall style.
Well, I just dropped a link in the chat. If you want to come on, this is an all skate, everyone skate bitch clock. So if you do want to come take your hand at the bitch clock, please feel free to join us. We'll bring you on. We'll give you a shot around.
I got to get rolling, but I do want to say thank you so much to the ranters. It was good being here. I haven't wallowed in this much negativity in a while. So it's like a bike, dude. It's like, you never forget. Oh my God, I forgot. I have rage inside of me. What's going on? I want to shank somebody.
Well, Mike's got a mafioso pulling up behind him. You see those like ominous headlights right there.
I know. I'm looking for a guy with a violin case.
Yeah. So
hopefully I don't wake up in the Cal-Sag River tonight.
Well, what do you say we go out on another bitch clock and then we'll let you guys go.
Give me a bitch clock. Let's go.
So I'll give you guys each a bitch clock, and then I'll let you go one by one. But we're giving it a shot. I want it to land on Michael Cotton so bad. Oh, it almost did. Oh, we get a story time with Crawley.
Okay.
All right. So check this out. So I'm going to play the song.
Story time with Crawley, with Crawley, with Crawley. Story time with Crawley. It's Crawley story time.
Put you on the spot.
All right.
I didn't know you had a theme song, did you, Mike?
I'm going to go with World Series Game 4. If anyone remembers World Series Game 4, if you have the DVD set, it's the one you use as a coaster. It's the one you will never, ever, ever watch again in your entire life. I had tickets to game 3 and 5, and I could have gone to 4, but all my friends flew into Chicago for the World Series, and we hadn't all been together since like my wedding in 2002. And so it was a really cool moment. And Nisei actually had a thing where they had for valued customers, they let us go in there. But if you remember, Danny, at that time, the Nisei TV was like one of those old box Magnavox TVs.
Yeah.
And the guys were bitching, I want a bigger TV. Well, I was walking down the street and I see this line to go into this bar, and I wasn't sure what this bar was. And I'm like, wait a sec. Every bar was opening at 8 a.m. and they were charging like $500 for a table. I'm like, why is there a line right here? It was a new bar. It was called Low Country. And they have like Cajun food. It's
I remember that place.
South on Clark.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
We go there and I go to the bouncer. I said, what's going on, man? Like, what's going on here? He's like, are you here for the VIP special? I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, well, it's $100 cash, all you can drink. We go flying over to the ATM. We were scared we were going to clear that ATM out. So we go in there. We got about like 15 of us, $100. We go into there, and it's all you could. Not all, no, the food we had to buy, but it was delicious, Cajun like fish broil. But then it was all you could drink from, I forget the time. It was like 5 o'clock till midnight was supposed to happen. So all of a sudden, the Cubs get the lead, and all of a sudden, John Lackey's just completely choking this shit away. We're going, oh my God, this is just the worst game. But I had a choice: either be miserable about it or have fun with my friends who were all together in Chicago. And so what ends up happening is that we decided to play Flippy Cup. There were these big, long picnic tables in the basement. And so we're playing Flippy Cup. And by the time, the game is just a blowout, we literally have the whole place. It's like a 20 people on each side of the table Flippy Cup tournament.
Quick question. I didn't go to college. What's Flippy Cup?
Flippy Cup is a game where you take the beer, you got about a 3/4 full beer, and it's like a relay race. You hit it, you chug, and then you have to flip the cup upside down, and it has to land. If it tips over, you got to keep flipping it until it lands.
You got to flip it to the opposite side where it was, too.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there playing this. Everybody in the entire bar gets absolutely blitzed. And then they ran out of beer. We drank them out of beer there. So now it's about 10:45 at night. We were expecting to be there till midnight. We're walking around. Danny, do you remember Meatball Mike?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Meatball Mike, our gambling degenerate that used to come on.
Degenerate gambler. He had a place on Clifton right above the players' parking lot. And that was like Grand Central Station during the postseason, during that run. We would go to his place, drink beers. We used to sit on his garage and yell at the players as they were parking. They didn't have that roof structure yet. And so I go over to Meatball Mike's, and he's exhausted. He's been like literally partying nonstop and people knocking on his doors. Me and my crew come rolling in. We're banging on there. Hey, dude, let us in. We want to play beer pong. So now we're playing beer pong outside his house, and somebody swats a ping pong ball away, and it goes over the fence. Now, mind there is 17 other ping pong balls right next door, but I had to get that ping pong ball. I was on a mission. And so I climbed one of those Chicago black fences that has a spike in like the top.
No.
I climb all the way to the top, and everybody's panicking.
Yes.
And I literally jump over.
No.
And as I land, my finger hits an air conditioning unit and like slices off the top of my finger. So I pick up the ball. I got blood squirting out my finger, and I'm starting to feel faint because of the amount of blood I'm losing. Luckily, my buddy's wife was a nurse. She wrapped it up, and we continued drinking for like another 3 hours.
Well, it was all you could drink.
Yeah,
you already drank that place on house at home. Well, I got to play the drop again. Mike, do you have time to do
Story time with Crawley with
That's enough of that. Mike, do you have time to do one more bitch clock? All right.
Yeah,
cool.
let's do it.
All right,
let's run it.
Let's roll it. Oh, Crawley left. All right, here we go. Oh, see, you can't give you this because you don't really know Michael Cotton. All right.
I know of him from, he used to be on your podcast, right?
No, he's still on it.
Okay.
That's the problem. That's why I made the bitch
because
clock.
he couldn't be here tonight.
All right. This says relievers that walk the first batter of the inning. You got that one? All right.
Let's do it.
Bitch clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
Okay, how in the hell are you walking the first batter you face when you had just spent an entire inning in the bullpen making sure you are fine-tuning yourself to the best possible ability you can? Get in there and throw strikes, okay? Bring your A game. Why? What are you afraid of, especially if it's starting an inning with nobody on base? Like, what do you got to lose? Throw strikes. Stop nibbling. Just throw strikes.
My favorite thing that happens in the bleachers is when some guy's yelling to a guy who's just walked the bases loaded. Throw strikes. Come on, throw strikes. And so he does. And the next batter hits the grand slam.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? That's why he's not throwing strikes, because he knows the ball will get crushed.
But you said specifically to start an inning, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what damage can really be done? But, yeah, nothing more annoying than freaking leadoff walk with a new pitcher on the mound.
I always think of it. Have you ever been to a game in Cincinnati? there's a graphic
Yeah.
that they put up when if you walk the
Oh,
leadoff,
the walks will haunt you graphic.
yeah, and they put
Yeah,
a
I remember
ghost up,
that.
and the ghost is like,
Ooh.
walks will haunt. And do you know who else that affected? That told me about it? He's like, it always used to freak him out too. John Baker. He was like,
Really?
yeah, he's like, dude, in Cincinnati, he's like, leadoff walks. I always think of that. And I'm like, me too. So I think it's in everybody's head that's been to Cincinnati to see a game.
I mean, it's probably
Dang.
especially scary in that little league ballpark.
Yeah, true.
It is haunted, actually. It is the oldest team, by some metrics. Well, Mike, thanks for coming on our little impromptu bitch clock session. I appreciate it. Get out there before the Gambino family finds you.
I'll get out of here. I think I see the Spilatros coming up on me, so better avoid any cornfields.
Exactly.
Danny, IFG, great to join you guys. Thank you guys for having me. IFG, finally nice to share a screen with you. I've met Danny and Crawley a bunch, but nice to finally get a chance to meet you.
Good to see your face too. Don't be a stranger.
See you in the bleachers, brother. See you in the bleachers. All right.
Right.
Oh, wait. One more thing. Mike, one more thing. Name of the podcast. I forgot to let you plug.
Oh, my. So, Bums in the Bleachers podcast. We record every either Monday or Tuesday night, depending on my partner's work schedule. It's on the Chicago Sports Bums YouTube page. Chicago Sports Bums, they're mainly a White Sox site, actually. I know, boo. But they reached out to me last year because they want to expand and try and cover like all Chicago sports. So myself and my partner, John, were the Cubs podcast there and record every Monday night. And, we have some fun with it. We're kind of in the early stages of it, started in the middle of last year. Working out the kinks. And then I also joined DeCipio, Andy Dolan, on his Cubs podcast as well. A little more established name and probably my favorite. Sorry to crap on you, Danny, but before I went into the podcasting game, that was probably my favorite Cubs podcast. You're up there too as well. But yeah,
you don't have to lie to me on my own show. It's embarrassing. The thing I love about Cub fans is that there are about 25,000 Cubs podcasts that exist and have existed.
Yep.
I've been trying to make a list of them over the last couple of weeks, and it became a much more daunting task than I expected, because when I started reaching out to people, I realized that there were more podcasts that I didn't even know about.
Yes.
And it's only because I hadn't really searched, because I know who I know. And obviously some of us are local, like you and I are local, Mike. And then there's other people that are broadcasting from California or Texas and other different places. And I know we're all, should be competition, but when you're only carving up a penny a download, like who the fuck really cares,
Exactly, right.
So my point is, like, let's all get together. We all have our shows. We all love the Cubs, and let's all come on the bitch clock and have a fun.
I love this.
So thanks for coming on, but now we'll really let you go.
For sure. You guys do this every Thursday night, or?
No, it was a rainout, so we just went on.
Okay. I love this. I'll look forward to the bitch clock.
We do usually record the Sun Ranto show on Thursdays night. So come on whenever you're available.
Yeah. Always welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we're just going to turn Sun Ranto into bitch clock because this has been so successful and way easier than preparing for a show.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Have a good night. Get home safe. It's
absolutely.
All right. Later, brother. All right. I think we should spin it at least to go for the full hour. We could spin it.
Yeah, why not? Hey, let's take some suggestions for a couple of replacements, because we've been through quite a bit of that wheel now.
We have. So we could get a few more in here. We've already done, let's see, we haven't done Joe Johnson's Shota guys yet. We've done Angel Hernandez. So but maybe he should stay. Can we replace him? Can we replace him with a different umpire, though? At least.
Sure.
How about, Angel Hernandez, ever since Joe West retired, there's CB Buckner, criminally blind Buckner.
There is always CB Buckner or Laz Diaz.
Laz Diaz is rough, yeah. Look, I'll just put umpires.
There you go.
as a general one. Yeah, but keep the suggestions coming if you have some things that. But it's tough. Like coming off a 5-4 West Coast road trip, you're feeling pretty good about things.
Okay, I was ranting about this sort of a little bit earlier today and would love the opportunity to do it some more. So let's do why they kick us out of the ballpark 10 seconds after last pitch.
Oh yeah. Kick out a park. Yeah, we know what we mean by it. And yeah, that is kind of frustrating. They let you linger a little bit at Wrigley Field, but it's not very long.
Like
And
they
then-
will scream at you over the intercom at T-Mobile Park. All right, park's closed. Everybody out. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
And they also, before the game at Wrigley Field, being such an iconic ballpark that you might want to walk around when it's fairly empty before the game, they took away a full half hour of that. And that means not only did they take away a half hour of wandering around and seeing the ballpark and buying concessions, but they also took away a half hour of watching batting practice. So basically, you don't see batting practice any longer. It's done. And that was like one thing that I would do as a kid. I mean, you'd show up way early,
Yeah.
and watch it at least 2 hours.
That's the whole thing that they do. I mean, they even open the center field bleachers at T-Mobile Park so you can get in a half an hour earlier just to hang out in the outfield area and like catch batting practice homers.
Yeah, most people are trying to get you into their things to buy a bunch of beer and concessions, and they just won't let you in or won't let you stay. Like, what if there was a place in the ballpark, like they kept the bleachers open and you could stand in at least in this one corner and they kept, a bar, like one of those decks open. Like you go to the deck, pay money, I know at Marlins Stadium, they kept those pools open a little bit longer in the back, but that's disgusting. All right, we have room for a slot here.
The Athletics playing at a AAA ballpark.
Okay. Triple A's, which is actually 4 A's. What else?
Let's see.
I don't think we have any more spots. Pitcher injuries. Oh, Dansby batting second. We did, so we do have room for another.
All right,
one.
we got one more. Anybody got
who out there in the chat?
One more bitching subject before we take the spin.
There might be some if I'm looking back. Oh, John Pickett's brought this up twice. He said Crawley should have been arrested here as well, and he had mentioned that Crawley should have been arrested at some other point in the story that he was talking about. So let's say, Crawley not getting arrested. Crawley's non-arrests. We'll put.
I hope you get that one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we should probably just do, I was thinking that should be part of the bitch clock as we kind of workshop this thing is like a lightning round where, you put the 60 seconds up and you just keep spinning and you have to see how many categories you could say one witty thing about.
There you go.
Should we try a lightning round? Let's just try it. We're workshopping here.
Yeah, why not?
It's a rain out. I got the 60 second. Let me take a nip of courage here, actually. Because I'll go first, just because it was my idea. So I'll pick my poison. But yeah, I was kind of, I'm looking at it now. I think it's raining, but I feel like it didn't rain in a way that you couldn't have played. But I do think that it really was advantaged the Cubs because we had our bullpens all beat up. And so you get a chance to reset that thing.
Yeah,
the Marlins.
I can't say I'm terribly mad about it.
No, it worked, and I would have, and we have great seats now for a game that's on Saturday night.
Nice.
So instead of a game that's on Thursday in the cold, so
right.
Just it's a totally different vibe, and Saturday night games are rare. We're going to one on June 1st.
Yeah, we are. Get another bobblehead, another
bobblehead for Crawley's trophy case. I do want to. It made me think of that. The Sorcerer's Apprentice. That would be fun to shoot a TikTok video with his bobbleheads, and you see Sammy Sosa come alive. Shoot steroids. Okay. So I guess the lightning round is such that I'll just keep spinning and I have to bitch just a little bit about each thing. All right. Well, I'm just gonna.
I don't know. You're making this.
I know. I'm shooting for the stars here. All right.
Let's go.
Okay. I think this is it. All right. This is it. So I'm gonna put the 60 second. All right.
You have 60
Wait,
seconds
hold on.
to bitch.
So, hold on. I got to spin first. All right. So we're giving it a spin, and then we're gonna start the lightning round. Okay. Oh, the AAA A's.
Bitch clock. You have 60 seconds to bitch.
Yeah, the A's playing in a AAA ballpark. That means you're a AAA team. You got AAA players. Guess where you should be? Freaking AAA. Bring up the best AAA. Bring the best team from Japan over and let them start kicking ass in a Major League ballpark. Next spin. I'm stopping it right here on third base contact outs. Yeah, here's the thing. Back in my day, you stood there at the ready. You were at the ready. You were either going home or you were going back to third. You were in the middle, and then you read it off the bat, and you tried to choose right. You had to use your instincts. Can I get home? Do I need to go back to third? Now they've taken all the thinking out of it. Now you just run home, and you're usually out. Next spin. All right, I'm stopping it right here. Oh, same one. Oh my God. Umpires, learn to see. Get some glasses. Take some lessons on vision. You don't know what you're doing. You're freaking blind as bats. All of you.
You're staying as in.
So, I think I got through a few. I would have got through more, but I kept landing because I would stop it, and it kept stopping on third base contact outs. Like it did it 3 times in a row. That was Michael Cotton giving us energy from. He's like, I want to know. I want the full 5 minutes on third base contact outs. No. All right, are you ready for a lightning round? I guess I'll have to shout them out to you because they're. You'll learn to see. Bill, maybe that's the line of the night. I went to my mom's, just a little side note. I went to my mother's. She was in a play, and it was a play that was about fairy tales at the old folks home where she lives. And they did the story of Snow White. And so she's laying there and she gets the kiss from Prince Charming. And all the dwarves are standing around. And so one of the dwarves kisses her and she comes to life. And one of the dwarves says, "Oh, we should have tried that years ago." Oh, man,
amazing.
So Everett says, "Take a breath, Danny. It's been since 1974 since I've come up for air." All right, are you ready? So I think what we'll do, good, even better. And we'll see. And I'll share it one more time in the chat. If anybody wants to take a shot at the bitch clock, I'm sharing the StreamYard link. We'll let you in here and you could join us and take a spin. Okay. So I'm going to spin it and then I'm going to throw up the bitch clock and then I'll just shout them out to you after you kind of exhausted a topic or something.
Perfect.
Joe Johnson's Shota guys. That's what you got to start. You just got to go with it.
Okay.
You can yell pass in the middle of these, I think. That makes sense to me that you would be able to do that. Okay, here we go. And let's go.
Bitch clock. You have 60 seconds to bitch.
Hey, Shota guys, I adore you. Do this all the time. Love the fact that Shota was on board with it. Love the fact that Obvious Shirts jumped on it. Amazing stuff. Go.
Okay. Crawley's big bobble.
I think that thing is incredible. It's horrifying. They should make a movie about it, like that Tyra Banks Barbie movie.
This is a good one. The Young Cubs.
The Young Cubs! I'm so excited for our Young Cubs. I think we, Ben is doing great at throwing the baseballs, and I'm just so delighted and excited about everything. I'm looking forward to Owen Casey. I'm looking forward. Who else we got? Let's go.
Okay. Next one. Oh wait, that's the same one.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Getting kicked out of the park.
All right. They should keep the park open for an hour. I just met all these super cool baseball people. I've been running around saying hi to everybody. We're like flying the flags. We're celebrating a Cubs win. And then the intercom goes, hey, the game is over. Get the fuck out of here because we got to clean stuff. Dude, give us a minute to breathe. Like, you've already shortened the game. You sold all the advertisements you can sell. And I paid a lot of money to be here, and so did everybody else. And, just give us a minute. Let us, take pictures from the upper deck if we want to do that. I'm not saying you got to keep the bar open and keep selling beer, but we paid to be here. And, you've got a situation like that kid just threw a Maddox the other day, or was it yesterday even? The game was over in 96 minutes.
Yeah.
You pay $250 for a fancy seat there, and you're getting kicked out in an hour and a half. What, I gotta pay $75 an hour to stand in a ballpark that I'm probably paying taxes on?
But that you probably built with your taxes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That is my property as far as I'm concerned. If I live in that city and my tax dollars built the damn place. Let us stand there and hang out. There are so few, and I know this is kind of an overarching sort of societal issue right now, but third spaces are disappearing. That's anywhere that you need to be other than home or work or school. You can't go to the mall and hang out. Somebody will arrest you for loitering. Your kids can't go hang out at the arcade without an adult supervision or something like that. Let people enjoy their ballpark.
I completely agree.
That's our space. Give us an hour after the game is over, an hour after last pitch.
I like what David Elliott's saying here. I've had sex lasted longer than 96 minutes. A humble brag if I've ever heard. And foreplay, folks, that's the key. So if we've learned anything tonight.
Speaking of foreplay, what about the Cubs cutting out the opportunity to watch batting practice? Not every place is like T-Mobile Park where you can get in 2.5 hours before the game starts and get half price beer in the, I'll brag about T-Mobile Park all day long. It's a great ballpark. But if you're not in there, 2 hours before the game, give us the hour after the game, please. That's all I'm just saying. I'm putting it on the list of things that I would do if I was the commish. Ballparks would stay open until an hour after last pitch, so everybody can decide together with their new baseball friends that they just made at the game what bar they're going to go to afterwards.
I wouldn't know why they wouldn't want to keep selling us things, and especially because specifically they have these giant complexes. You could definitely make part of it. So, in the corners they'll have a TGI Fridays and stuff that you can put people in. Why wouldn't they make that part of it where you'd keep people on site, especially if you got a 7:00 game? So over at 9, people still want to linger till 10. You were into the idea that a ball game, or at least hanging out a ball game, was 3-4 hours. Right. Now, it was a problem when it started becoming 5 and when they were playing ridiculously slow. But that was one thing but now they've just lopped off so much of the game, and they want to lop off more. And you're like,
and you
why?
You don't really feel like you have I like to get up and wander around the ballpark during the middle innings. I'll sit there in my seat. I'll visit my seat for a little while for the first couple of innings. And then once I kind of know what the vibe of the game is, I like to get up and walk around. I want to talk to people in the concourse. I want to stand in line for a beer and a hot dog and then enjoy it standing somewhere else in the park. I want to go take a picture from that one really cool angle where you can see the water and the Ferris wheel. I want to go enjoy the ballpark that I'm in. But now it feels like it happens so fast. Before you know it, it's the 7th inning, 8th inning, and the game is over. And now everybody that I've just met is all gone and thrown out into the street. You can't go find them again and be like, hey, dude, I really enjoyed talking to you. You want to go grab a beer? I want to make friends at the park. I want to know my community. And I really do feel like, taking the air out of the crowd like that is, it just makes everything just a little bit worse. And we should have a little bit more time there.
I agree. And
this is not a 60-second bitch clock, but you know what? That's okay.
That's okay. It's the bitch clock show. We can do what we want. What we want. Well, I think this will be fun to bring out to Ball Hawk Corner one of the nicer days. Maybe next week I'll give it a debut against the Astros.
Awesome. I want to do it. I want to do it here in Seattle. Just like hang out in the line of people trying to head into the park. You know, everybody who lines up at the center field gate for a half price beer before the game, and give them the opportunity to bitch a little bit.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this is it's not very heavy. You know, I feel like I can carry it around. But that's also the problem with it. If it's a windier day, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep this thing upright. It's already even fallen over in my room. So
yeah,
that's
probably put like a 5 kilogram weight on the bottom of it or something, like one of those ankle weights that you wear when you're walking. If you're one of those sort of people who likes to do fitness.
Yeah, I don't have one of those because I'm not one of those people. But alas, well, this is fun. But I say we call it. But at least we did something on.
That was fun.
Yeah, exactly. This has not been a Sunranto show, but if you do enjoy the Sunranto show, you can subscribe to us at patreon.com/Sunranto and come to Ranterfest. Sunranto.com/Ranterfest is a big old party for our 1000th
see me in my face.
Yeah. See us all to our face. See us all to our face. That makes no sense. But you know, I should play a song because it just feels right.
Yeah.
So what should I play? Oh, do you know what I'm going to play? Is because it came up earlier that it was the bobblehead day when the Ballad of Poncho Boy happened and Bleacher Jeff's seat got taken by that guy who sat there in the rain for 7 hours straight. And then I wrote a song about it, and then that song got recorded, and now I'm going to play it. So that's.
And I sat in that seat specifically for my first game at Wrigley Field just to spite that dude.
It's all coming full circle. Bill Sugas says that was fun. I agree. And let's have some more fun. I don't know, the next time. See ya. Spagog.
Spagog.
A bobblehead Saturday in the rainy month of May. A smattering of bleacher fans were waiting at the gate. The fans began to stream to go see their favorite team. They made 3 separate lines to pass through security. There was one man who had a plan and knew just where to go. Run to section 504 and down to the first row. He had come prepared for rain with a plastic poncho. He'd get revenge with his girlfriend without getting soaked. And he'd sit there in the rain for 7 hours straight. He'd sit right through the weather that had made the game delayed. With his plastic poncho on, he'd sit all afternoon long. That's why I'm writing Poncho Boy this song. The catbag Jack was Bleacher Jeff, he'd pick the slowest line, while Poncho's line moved faster, abetting in the crime. For unbeknownst to Jeffrey, a few weeks in the past, he'd saved seats in his section, making Poncho pretty mad. He'd come back from Iowa to teach Jeff a lesson. He'd claim Jeff's customary seat in Jeff's usual section. For the tickets they both held said general admission. Revenge will be served cold and wet, no respect for tradition. And he'd sit there in the rain for 7 hours straight. He'd sit right through the weather that had made the game delayed. With his plastic poncho on, he'd sit all afternoon long. That's why I'm writing Poncho Boy this song. When Jeff got to his section, he said,
"What have we here?"
A rookie season ticket holder who maybe comes to 20 games a year. I'll buy you a couple beers if you give up that seat. If not, I'm gonna shame you in a notorious tweet. But Poncho Boy, he wouldn't budge, he wouldn't move a muscle. The seat that once held Bleacher Jeff now held a soaking couple. The driving rain poured off his poncho, pooling into puddles, while Bleacher Jeff stayed warm and dry down in the bleacher Poncho Boy this song.